Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching episode 31 of my Mystery Monthly Minis. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to episode 31 of my Mystery Monthly Minis. If you've seen this before and you know it works, then you can just skip straight forward to the tasting. Otherwise, the way this works is I have at least 150 samples in my sample collection, and my wife will pick one at random and put it into this blue Glencairn glass. I'll nose it, I'll taste it, I'll tell you if I like it, and I'll have a stab at what I think it is. Should we find out what's in my glass? On to the whiskey. If you'd like to play along with me and find out what's in my glass when I do, then just keep watching. Otherwise, take a look in the description now for a sneak peek. Let's start with the nose. Right, so this one's quite interesting. There's a fruity note. I'm not quite sure what that fruit is yet. Some sort of berry maybe. I'm getting a slight herbal note. Yeah, it definitely comes across like red berries, possibly sherry influence. Doesn't seem overly high ABV at this stage. But yeah, there's definitely sort of like a soaked dark fruits note on the nose. That herbal note reminds me a little bit of linseed oil. There's a slight sort of crayon note in there, sort of wax crayon note. Possibly a little bit oaty. But yeah, not really getting much more. That sort of fruit note really does dominate. Yeah, definitely sort of soaked berries of some sort. Let's move on to the palate. Yeah, this is a little bit soft, but I would say this is very heavily sherry. That's really, really strong in the sort of soaked, sort of red wine, sort of sherry sort of category. It really is drenched in that sort of, you know, sort of strong dark fruits. Reminds me of sort of Christmas pudding when you've covered it in brandy and set it alight. It really is sort of rich and juicy, and I suppose ever so slightly one-dimensional, but it is very strong and fruity. It's I think it's difficult to tell where this might come from at this stage, but just as a numbers game, it's probably likely going to be Scotch, but it could be from anywhere. Let's have another sip. Yeah, it's really quite nice. It's not too high ABV. I think it's probably 40, anywhere between sort of 43 and 46. It's quite soft, not overly hot or spicy on the palate. There's a little bit of heat, but not much. And I think its softness makes it quite drinkable. It's slightly tannic and slightly drying. The sort of red grape skins are sort of hanging around and drying the palate afterwards. But it's really is quite tasty. But I haven't got a clue what it is. The sort of sherry influence I think it's just too much to be able to tell what's underneath in terms of spirit. But let's have one final sip. Yeah, I can't really nail this down to anything. Most likely Scotch. It's probably not more than 46%. If I had a stab, I'd say it's most likely Highland, but it is very heavily sort of red wine / sherry dominated. It's yeah, it really is a nice dram, but it's definitely dominated by that wine influence. Should we find out what's in my glass? Right, so it's a Kavalan Sherry Oak. It's 46% ABV, and it was sent to me by Greg from Greg's Whisky Guide. Well, do you know what? I think I've got a couple of Kavalans in my sample collection, and I'm pretty certain this is the first Kavalan I've ever tried. It's obviously a sherry influenced whiskey. It's obviously not Scotch, so yeah. But you know, I don't know how Kavalan compares, you know, what a non-sherried Kavalan would taste like. So I don't know if it does taste, you know, similar to Scotch whiskies, or whether or not it's completely different. But obviously the sherry dominance on this really does take over. So thanks, Greg, for sending me this. It's always great to try something completely new, and this certainly is. It's my first taste of Kavalan, so I'm really pleased to have received this from you. And it actually makes me wonder why I've not tried Kavalan sooner. If there's any particular Kavalan that you think I should try next, let me know in the comments, as always. And if you've tried this one, let me know if my notes were similar to yours. I'd really be interested to hear if I'm similar, or whether or not I'm totally different to what you picked up. Obviously, Kavalan is, I suppose, a fairly affordable whiskey, but some of their whiskies I've seen are a little bit out of most people's price range. So yeah, let me know what I should go for next. It's always great to sort of go down that rabbit hole once you've tried a new distillery. Hopefully you found that interesting, and you'll come back for some more next time. Stauncher.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.